previous lesson we introduced cadences. We have seen that they are like punctuation marks in verbal speech. So they allow us to have a sense of conclusion which can be stronger or weaker depending on the cadence. And the strength of a cadence depends also on where it is placed. In the previous lesson, up to now, we covered only cadences in major key, but of course we can also use minor key. And what about cadences in minor key? So we already know that the cadences are tied to a tonal sense. So cadences allows us to have a strong tonal sense in musical speech. So since depending on the minor scale that we use, we can have different tonal sense, or stronger or weaker. Even in this case, we can use cadences only when we use some minor scales. So this is one of the topics that we will cover today. And of course, we will also introduce the last kinds of cadences. And at the end of this video lesson, we are going to put into practice everything we learn by finding cadences in the 4 famous songs we analyzed in the previous video lessons. So let's start with the 5th kind of cadence, which is called interrupted cadence, and it is made up of the sequence from 5th to 6th degree chord in major key. In this case, as you can notice, I am in C major key, so this is the 5th degree chord and this is the 6th degree chord. Interrupted cadence is a very easy way of switching to another key, to another chord rather than using the perfect cadence. So for example, if I am on 5th degree chord, on dominant chord, rather than switching to 1st degree, so tonic, I can also switch to, I can go to the 6th degree, so submediant. In this case, I have a weaker tonal sense and the cadence is weaker than the perfect cadence. The 6th kind of cadence is called deceptive cadence, and it is a very important cadence. It is made up of the sequence dominant chord of a key to dominant chord of another key. So for example, I start from dominant chord of C major key, and I switch to dominant chord of A minor key, which is E major chord. So I start with G major chord, so dominant chord of C major chord, and I switch to E major chord, which is dominant chord of A minor key. And for example, then I can switch to, I can go to the tonic chord of A minor key. But this is not the only way that I can have a deceptive cadence starting from dominant chord of C major. Rather than switching to dominant of A minor, I can also go, for example, to dominant of another key. So for example, dominant of E minor. So this is B major chord, which is dominant chord of E minor key. And for example, then I can switch to tonic chord of E minor. In this case, I can call it a dominant chord because I have the leading tone, so the altered 7th degree, the augmented 7th degree of E minor